Gwen Stefani has been killing it for decades since making her industry debut with No Doubt. She also knows how to stay relevant while being true to herself, something fans hear in her music and see in her personal style. After all these years, here's how her look has changed. Gwen Stefani launched her career as the lead singer for No Doubt in 1987 when her brother Eric asked her to be a part of a band he was just starting to put together.
Well, we were playing a lot of shows in LA, for a long time, and there was no industry interest at all. And then finally they got a clue, and then they signed us.
No Doubt would go on to become one of the prominent ska bands in the 80s and 90s, but initially they had a hard time gaining traction due to the popularity of grunge at the time. Stefani pressed on, but she didn't want to look like the breakout female grunge singers at the time, considering them to be too angry and hardcore for her. Instead, she wanted her look to have a feminine edge, taking inspiration from pop icon Blondie. She told Rolling Stone, "It wasn't until I felt comfortable wearing high heels, because when you're on heels, all of a sudden you're hot. I never felt really strong growing up until I discovered Blondie. She wasn't ashamed to be rocking out, and to me, that's having it all."
We're just trying to enjoy every second of it while it's here, and we don't take one day for granted.
Any fan of Stefani or 90s fashion knows that she was the queen of crop tops, thin brows, and red lipstick. She wore that style in so many photos throughout her early days with No Doubt that it quickly became the signature Gwen Stefani look. There's even some speculation that her 90s style has influenced the Gen Z and TikTok e-girls of today, according to Vogue Australia. But Stefani has gone on record confirming that she only rocked crop tops at the beginning of her career, telling the outlet,
"I pretty much only wore tank tops my whole life because I don't know why, I just think they look cool. I had to be a little bit tomboy with a little bit glamour."
Stefani has clearly been true to herself and her sense of style since day one. One of Stefani's most controversial fashion accessories by today's standards would definitely be her incorporation of the Indian bindi into her red carpet and street style. She told Vogue that her interest in Indian culture and fashion peaked at the time because of her relationship with No Doubt bassist Tony Kanal, whose family is Indian. She said,
"I had never, growing up in Anaheim, spent any time with anyone from India."
Remembering how Tony's mom would dress to the nines for the Indian parties she attended, Stefani claims she ate up those bejeweled, luxurious looks.
I would just be like, I've never seen anything like it.
It was actually Kanal's mother who gave Stefani some of the bindis she wore as fashion. The bindi is a body adornment often worn by, quote, South Asian women for religious and cultural practices, as noted by Vice. Over the years, the conversation about cultural appropriation has gained widespread traction, so even though Stefani got away with wearing it back then, it's best that she left this trend behind. Nothing shocks an audience quite like a monochromatic look, especially if that color is a baby blue like the one that Stefani rocked at the '98 VMAs. Her bright blue hair matched her bikini top, and would any 90s outfit be complete without a pair of platform flip-flops to match? Rolling Stone reported this look, most commonly referred to as her Smurfette or her Judy Jetson moment, had critics shaming her, but fans screaming for more. Stefani elaborated on her inspiration behind the head-turning look, telling Entertainment Weekly, "I was laying in bed thinking I wanted to dye my hair blue, and I found that bikini top in my drawer. It turned into a space-agey Judy Jetson thing."
Just really kind of inspired by Judy Jetson from the Jetsons, sort of in this moment.
She also told Vogue that she had just come home from her tour when she got ready for this particular red carpet, and that the hair dye, bikini top, and flip-flops had all been sent to her for free.
You would wear it too if it was free and you got home off tour, so be quiet.
Sometimes big life transitions mean you need to change up your hair, and that's exactly what inspired Stefani's 1999 VH1 Vogue Fashion Awards red carpet look. Sporting bright pink hair and braces, Stefani didn't delve too much into why she completely changed her appearance that year, but in 2019, she finally revealed that a rough period in her life had inspired the new look. She told Vogue,
"Sometimes you go ahead and change your hair, to try to wash whatever those feelings are out of your hair."
At the time, Stefani noted there weren't a lot of options for dyeing your hair bright colors, except for the old standby brand Manic Panic. She added,
"I wanted my hair like cotton candy, light pink, and I ended up with fuchsia pink hair for a year."
The early 2000s was an interesting time for everyone fashion-wise. Von Dutch trucker hats were all the rage, every girl you knew owned at least one long denim skirt, and Juicy Couture tracksuits were considered in.
I have an entire closet that's only Juicy Couture.
Stefani rocked a handful of these trends at the 2001 VMAs with a super patriotic look on the red carpet. She paired a red and white striped halter top with dark blue gaucho pants and high red leather boots, and the singer was right on trend with this look. Of course, in true Stefani style, she showed off her impressive abs with the halter top and low-rise pants. But it seems that the one 2000s trend that Stefani didn't get into was frosted lip gloss. She might have been on top of the latest looks, but she knew what her tried and true tricks were too. Stefani told Vogue that in the 90s, she didn't have the budget or access to stylists that other artists had to create performance outfits and red carpet looks, so she had to dress herself. But once Y2K hit, she finally had the budget to start working with the pros to help curate her brand. In 2002, she connected with stylist Andrea Lieberman for a music video shoot. Stefani said that combining her own ideas with Lieberman's skills and connections made for a perfect pairing right off the bat. The singer recalled that while she was on set for the Let Me Blow Ya Mind video shoot, Lieberman brought a truck full of clothes for every possible concept Stefani had, and Stefani was blown away. In 2004, Stefani stepped away from No Doubt with the release of her solo album Love, Angel, Music, Baby, for which the acronym is LAM. The album signified her desire to move away from the ska punk music that launched No Doubt into fame and instead opted to bring in other artists like Dr. Dre and Andre 3000 to collaborate. The album also signaled a change in her red carpet and street style, and she often opted for sleeker and chicer looks.
Sometimes that's how you get some magical stuff.
Surprisingly, Stefani told Vogue that fashion magazine-inspired looks were something she was always against as a kid, even calling her younger self, quote, a anti-fashion magazine. As a kid, she said she felt alienated by those aspirational looks, but now with a couple of magazine covers under her belt, she sees the artistry behind the photo shoots. Stefani launched her fashion line LAM in the mid-2000s and initially felt some blowback because of how many celebrities were also creating their own fashion lines at the time. Still, Stefani knew that her design chops would eventually prove she was there to stay. She told Billboard in 2005, "I don't expect to fit in right away, but I do sense that the fashion world is rooting for me too. I'm not being treated like a celebrity wannabe fashion designer. But even if I was, it doesn't really matter because I'm doing this for me."
I feel like my life I'm in this new kind of chapter and everything's so kind of exciting and colorful.
Stefani told the outlet that, for her, both writing music and designing clothes come from the same place of creativity. She added, "I don't see why any musician who has style or pays attention to style couldn't design fashion. It's an extension of my personality. I can't explain why I like it, it's just always been that way for me." Stefani's hit single, Holla Back Girl, was one of the most popular songs off her debut solo album. The track is an alleged response to Courtney Love's statement reportedly calling Stefani a cheerleader in 17 magazine, per The Cut. So what better way to fight back? For Stefani, that meant completely embracing the cheerleader aesthetic. From her music video to her 2005 performance at the Teen Choice Awards, Stefani made the cheerleader nickname her own. Her Teen Choice performance even started outside the theater with Stefani in a marching band uniform. The singer also stuck with her red lip and arched brows, as well as her signature set bleach blonde hair for the performance.
It's pretty incredible how music heals and how music is love and love is just bringing us all together.
After she went solo, Stefani often appeared wearing looks inspired by a Japanese style from the Harajuku district of Tokyo. She also borrowed the often colorful and theatrical look for her own fashion line. But even though Stefani's Harajuku-inspired style was considered hip and new back then, today many critics point out that it's actually another case of cultural appropriation.
I mean, Gwen does have some of the most interesting style in the span of her career.
Even in 2005, Salon magazine called out Stefani's use of the style, as well as her dancers, writing, "She's taken Tokyo hipsters, sucked them dry of all their street cred, and turned them into China dolls. Stefani has taken the idea of Japanese street fashion and turned these women into modern-day geisha." Since the mid-2000s, Stefani has adopted a sleeker, more streamlined look. As a recurring coach on The Voice, Stefani traded her crop tops and crazy hairstyles for more pulled back and put together looks. However, just because she changed her fashion doesn't mean she gave up her old ways. She frequently outshined her fellow coaches in seasons past by donning multi-patterned, jeweled, and sequined looks that always left fans wanting more.
Fashion icon has arrived. That's right.
It seems that she also stays on top of today's trends while staying true to her stylish self. She's so into her style that she even won the Fashion Icon Award at the 2019 People's Choice Awards, proving she's still one of the best-dressed celebs ever. Power couple Blake Shelton and Stefani have both served as coaches on The Voice, but it looks like their relationship goes beyond their shared love of singing and mentoring. Or does it? The hit show hilariously revealed on its YouTube channel in December 2019 that the country singer has actually been the one behind all of Stefani's looks on season 17.
Did somebody say fashion?
As every fan instantly knew, the setup was clearly a joke.
That's it. Perfect.
A mullet, Blake? Really?
I know you're going to bring it back. I'm so jealous.
While Shelton gladly plays the part of his lady's uptight and genius stylist, Stefani is obviously the woman in charge of her look. And after all these decades of making bold choices in front of the media, she's certainly earned her rightful place as a pop fashion icon.
Blake, what do you think?
It looks just like my drawing.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.